Sadashivasamarambam Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam Om Om Shanti 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 Om Namaste Om Shwara. We are here back to the 13th chapter of the Gita, in which Swamiji unfolds uh, the nature of Purusha, the conscious principle, the unchanging principle, and the attributeless principle. So, and the only reality, the Satya principle, and and then Prakriti, we know that is the opposite of everything we said in regards to Purusha. Now, we know that everything in this apparent manifestation on the world or the universe or cosmos, it appears as a mixture of Purusha and Prakriti. Purusha is there without change. Prakriti is constantly changing or evolving. The concept of evolution, matter is always changing and adapting, adjusting to the environment. That gives us a sense of evolution, but I like to see it more as a process by which every configuration tries to somehow readjust itself for the sake of survival, no preservation of one's uh, existence as a certain construct. So therefore, everything is changing, adapting. No? Prakriti, being basic matter, uh, appears as a product of evolution, which is also called the manifestation or development of the Panchabhutas, and so on. We saw in terms of development of the 14 lokas from this Prakriti. So, and then Swami again goes to his most fundamental question, but where is this blessed Purusha? So Prakriti is easy to point to because it's visible, it's tangible, it's definable, it's useful, it's perceivable by the five senses. But Purusha, it's a little more difficult to point and to grasp and to realize due to its supreme subtlety, so we could say. And where is this Prakriti? It's everywhere, as we know. And the whole base of Vedanta is that the whole Prakriti universe is but Purusha. Everything is Brahman. Everything resolves in Brahman as Brahman. And in this entire process, first we negate Purusha, saying Purusha is unreal and almost as good as non-existent. We need to negate Prakriti. We need to negate the superimposition of the gunas, the world as we know, we experience, and it does exist, but not as the ultimate reality. We need to negate it, and then in the end, the most intriguing part of the Vedanta teachings is that Prakriti is Brahman. It says like, Brahman is the only reality, and then Prakriti or the world is mithya, is unreal. And then it says, but Prakriti, the world, Maya, is of the same nature as Brahman, is Brahman. So first we negate, and then in the end we just say the truth is that everything is Brahman, not as an Amarupa, but as in its essential true intrinsic nature. So everything, first we negate and then we bring it back and say everything is Brahman, and then Maya is okay, Prakriti is okay. It's just it's colors that somehow project upon that which is Purusha. The question is, Purusha alone exists. Purusha alone is available, so to speak, as behind the body-mind complex. So that from the standpoint of the Jiva Atma, we have the Jiva Atma reflect consciousness, or Ahankara, the ego. And then with the ego is not here, real. So the Atma, the Jiva Atma is unreal. The true nature of the self is Paramatma. And then at the same time, the scripture comes back and say, but Jivatma is equal to Paramatma. No? It's equal in its fundamental true nature, which is not the Namarupa, but the essence of the Namarupa. No? We refer to by the word. The very word I indicates conscious principle, not an inert principle. Yeah, the very word I, aham, it means I am, I exist. So there is a awareness which is self-conscious, which is on existence, awareness, consciousness. Indicates a conscious principle, not an inert principle. Therefore, Christian conclusion is that this I of the Aham is of the nature of Brahman, the true subject principle, the true nature of the experiencer, the knower, the witness. I, in my true nature, as the experiencer, am Purusha, am Brahman, am pure consciousness, and so on. I have been thinking about the concept of fake until you make, because we hear the teachings of Vedanta. They say, so you just say that I, the Jivatma, I am Brahman, I am Brahman, I am consciousness, I am consciousness, I am consciousness, which is a true statement, unless we are not superimpose features or qualities or attributes of the body-mind complex to that statement, I am Brahman. Which I is this one? So at the beginning, we learn to say, I am Brahman, but this I that says I am Brahman is loaded with attributes. And the attributes belong to the body-mind sense complex. And then it keeps saying, I am Brahman, without being aware that this I is load and transferring the attributes of the body-mind sense complex to Brahman. This is superimposition of Mitra and Satya. And then no matter how long someone fakes it, I am Brahman in a mantric manner, it will never work because you are transferring the limiting adjuncts of your body-mind sense complex to Brahman. It's never going to work as promoting that sense of freedom that must be within self-recognition or self-knowledge. Fundamentally, I, the experience, am Brahman, but this I must be free from the attributes. So, and then you begin by saying, I am Brahman, but you are better to make an effort to prevent the transfer of the attributes of the body-mind to this Brahman you want to accomplish, because you can only say I am Brahman when the I you're referring to no longer is carrying with itself the attributes and qualities of the body-mind. I, the pure light of conscious existence, am Brahman and Purusha. I, the witness principle, am Purusha. Anything experienced is Prakriti. We should remember to include the body, mind, sense complex as Prakriti. So, which group Swami says? So now, when you're doing this, the Aham Brahmasmi, it's better not to do it mantrically, like a parrot, but to do it as a profound meditation, try to understand the meaning of this I, in which way it is identical to Paramatma. So the body-mind complex is Prakriti, should be included in the group of Prakriti. The body-mind should not join the I, the supreme I party. The body-mind should not be included in the subject list.
Arlindo, what about that saying from, I can't remember where, that the self is in all beings and all beings are in the self. So doesn't that mean that all these attributes are within me as Purusha?
Yeah, absolutely. So everything is within Brahman as a superimposition upon Brahman. It does exist because we experience the Prakriti world and its attributes, but it's not the ultimate reality. As I was saying, in the beginning, we need to negate reality, but later on we say there is a reality here, it's a meteor reality. What is a meteor reality? It depends on something else. The same way the projection upon the screen in the cinema depends on the screen.
Yeah. So it's like an Adyaropa Apawada. First, you have to discriminate and then you include.
Yeah, later on you say yes. I mean, from if we take this investigation from the standpoint of devotion and standpoint of the religious level of this process, which Swamiji says that it must be present. No? So we need to come to a point of seeing that okay, this world is false. It's a projection, it's an illusion, and this and that. But we start seeing Ishvara first and then Brahman second through everything. Everything is being resolved in the heart of a devotee. Owning having this knowledge which reflects itself as a vision, a sort of experience, and then we can say so. Everything is Brahman. In the past, I was deluded to see that all the Nama Rupas, they are real. Now I can see that everything is real only as Brahman. You know. The reality is in Brahman conscious existence appearing that, this, and that. So that is the meaning of resolve everything back in Brahman as Brahman. And the same is with the ego of the Jiva Atman. It needs to resolve itself in Brahman as Brahman, not in Brahman as an enlightened one, or as a great Mahatma or anything. So the Ahamkara has somehow to purify, so to the extent that it realizes its true nature as Brahman. In Portuguese, with my group, I avoid to say I am Brahman. I say everything is Brahman and the I is as well Brahman. The Aham is Brahman, everything else is Brahman. I like to put first everything else, everything is Brahman, because when the ego says I am Brahman, the ego, it's taking big risk, and then say everything is Brahman. The entire cosmos is an appearance within Brahman as Brahman. Everything is Brahman. Therefore, I, the soul, I cannot exclude myself from everything. Therefore, I must be as well of the nature of Brahman. I like to put it, the I is of the nature of Brahman. Everything is of the nature of Brahman. There is only Brahman appearing as all of us, everything, and so on. That is the final understanding. And then we can discuss whether Maya is real or not real, Mithya exists or does not exist. If we say that exists, we must remember exists as Brahman, because if we say it's real and it exists as matter, and then we are we are just taking the superimposition as free and independent from that which is holding the superimposition, which is conscious existence, the only reality. I have been have a lot of contemplation about expressions of these teachings that somehow it sells the idea. Just fake until you make, and then if you understood the teaching philosophically, and then you are good to go. If you understood the teaching intellectually or theoretically, you are good to go, because one needs to really have that kind of vision established, not from the intellect alone, but it must be something, it's difficult. It is an experience. Of course, the self is not an objective experience, but the moment that you understand this, the so-called paroksha yon, you have an experience that everything is Brahman, You must to have that perception, that feeling, that understanding. Usually it's more tangible by the sense of pacification, mental emotion pacification, and love and devotion for Brahman, for everything. Because one may know everything about these teachings, yet, as Swamiji says, the emotional personality does not show much of this wisdom. So the body mind should be included as prakriti. The confusion is the body mind is complete is prakriti. How can the body mind be able to do this work of understanding its true nature? Prakriti is inert, and prakriti can never have sentience.
Yeah.
Uh, I have talked about this before and give you the example of the
Spectacle,
spectacles.
maybe.
So we just integrate things, accessories upon the self. The body mind is an accessory.
Yeah. Yeah.
The accessories such as the spectacles can never say, I am lean.
Hmm.
It's just an accessory to lean. And then we're gonna see who is lean.
Yeah.
And then say, no, lean is not the body. No, lean something mother, something behind the body mind. Okay. So
Yeah.
if we say I am the body, it's easy for us to discriminate that the pair of glasses is just accessory used by me.
Mm.
The same way the body mind is an accessory used by consciousness, by Brahman, by Purusha.
Mm.
We take those things and we integrate that into the I, and then we say uh, the I is Brahman. I am Brahman. This I is Brahman. But then we have been taking besides all the loads of accessories. The accessories, they do not belong to the essential nature of Brahman. our true nature. So we have to make this statement deprived, free from any one of these accessories or attributes. Otherwise, it's just delusion.
Yes. There.
So this body-mind is an object, is prakriti. Yet this body-mind has a certain feature which allows consciousness to appear as human consciousness. And that makes the Atma of the Jiva showing up to the party, which is not the body mind sense complex.
Yeah.
Lynn, my dear, can you close your microphone, please?
I'm sorry.
So why we make this mistake? It's sometimes it's called transferring, transference of attributes of nature to such. An object used as an instrument appears to be intrinsic part of the subject. So the mind, the ahamkara, which is the instrument, is a feature, is a reflect consciousness. When we come to the reflection of consciousness, and then it's even more subtle. So if I am a conscious entity, experience entity, and then I feel like, okay, no, I can say I am Brahman. Okay. So, but even the reflect consciousness as a phenomenon, okay? The ego, the ahamkara, is taking the attributes that constitute this ahamkara to be the self. And then this reflective consciousness has to be purified. The whole process of Vedanta, of all spirituality, is purify the I, purify the ahamkara, so that we can have a proper view and experience of the I, of the mind, purified understanding that, I am this peace, I am this silence, I am this satisfaction. If I prevent all these attributes, thoughts, feelings, concepts, memories, emotions, to define myself, the whole process of meditating upon staying put as I am, I exist, without defining me as the body, mind, sense complex. So when we come to the reflect consciousness, the ahamkara, we say the attributes of this body, mind, sense complex is the subject. No, big mistake. Is yet an object. Is yet an object. Therefore, it's better to say the true I is of the nature of Brahman. And then we go into those concepts brought about from Ramana Maharaj, the small I and the big I, or the double I and one I, So there is the I of the Ahamkara, and there is the true I, which is the Supreme Self. So I presents an analogy. When you write a letter, you write the word I. You include the pen as well because you use that accessory to write a letter. Without that accessory, you cannot write a letter. Then who is writing this letter? To whom this I am writing you? This pen refers, or this I refers to everything, include the pen, without which I cannot write the letter. When you say I am a writer, you are including the pen. In those days, people would write with pen and papers. When I say I'm the seer, I'm the hearer, the body-mind complex used as instrument is also mistaken as a subject. Who is really seer? Who is hearing? Who is tasting? Yeah? So there is something behind or beyond the body mind sense, the instruments of the body mind, which is the true subject principle, is Brahman, the absolute seer. Of course, for transactional purpose, you take the body mind to be the I, of course. And because you have to do it all the time, you need to reflect upon these teachings and do some meditation on Nididhyasana to offset the habit of attaching to the true I all these attributes of the body mind sense complex. The attributes of Prakriti. The I is what is behind, illuminating and, and animating, functioning this body mind sense complex to transact in this world of duality. The world outside there is matter, the body is matter, the mind is also matter, subtle matter, everything is Prakriti. But the I, the true I, is different from the subtle body, the physical body, the causal body. The I is Shakti Chaitanya, or de natureza conscious, the nature consciousness, the illuminator. I witness all of them, meaning to say, I witness the three bodies or the five koshas and everything. And at the same time, I am different from them, but they are all me. Again, the concept that Mithya is Satya. If you really go deep enough, you're going to see that everything is Mithya, is but Satya, and its true, essential, fundamental nature. But Satya is different from everything. Yeah. Satya is the only principle, free and independent. Mithya depends on Satya. The word bunker means witnesses, even though the literal meaning of the word bhakti, bhakti, I don't know how to say that, is experiences. Experiences. The word experience should be understood as witness or illumines whatever happens to the body. That's the nature of consciousness. The illuminator, the revealing, the witnessing or illuminating principle that which illuminates the body mind sense complex and its activities within the world of Prakriti. In the presence of Purusha, the body mind sense complex, which is Prakriti, it gets illuminated, just like I say, the fire burns the fuel. We use the verb, the fire burns. But if you look into the analysis of Shankaracharya, it says that the burning is not a true verb because the fire does not really burn. It does not do, there is no sense that I am burning something here because the nature of the fire is to burn. So burning is not a willful action done by the fire. If burning is an action done by the fire, the action will have a beginning and action will have an end. But really speaking, fire does not do any action of burning. Fire just is as it is, and its nature is to burn things to ashes. When you put your finger in the fire, you say, the fire burned me. No, the fire did not burn you. The fire is not a doer, and this goes as a parallel to the ahamkara. Okay, we say the ahamkara do things, think things, and experience things. But the ahamkara is not doing anything, It appears to be doing, but everything is happening organically, spontaneously, following it's the nature of all ahamkaras, All body mind sense complex is designed to respond to to one's situations of life, and then it appears that it's doing. No, it's just the intrinsic nature, apparent nature, or secondary nature of consciousness appearing as reflect consciousness is to respond from respond to the stimulus coming from one's environment. No? So if we understand that, the same way that fire does not burn, the jiva does not do anything. It's just following its nature as the one that is designed to present response to what life provides us, the parabada, our destinies, and so on. That's the meaning of self-knowledge seen from the perspective of a dissolution of the sense of doership, enjoyership, authorship, because you just know that Ishvara's system is doing everything. Yet, we Jivatma has a certain free will with blessed with the possibility of making choices. And then we go all the way back to most of the religion when they say you just need to be an instrument of the Lord. Allow the Lord to guide you. And the only thing we need to do is what? Is to observe the laws and principles of the Lord. Observe of Dharma. And then we begin growing. Huh? After putting my finger in the fire, after putting my finger, also fire is fire. No transformation, no will, no action. It's just the nature. And it's interesting because the Jivatma, its nature is to interact with the world and respond from whatsoever life's sorrows at the individual. So, but some human beings, they somehow they break away from that program. They are born and say, no, I don't want to deal with it. I go to a cave or I go to a gurukula, ashram. I don't want to be involved in doing because that is a trap. That is rare, but some human beings are born with that kind of wisdom. So the same way that we say the verb within the sentence, fire burns the finger, it's not a real verbal meaning, because fire is, therefore, the nature of the fire is there without any sense of doership. And the ahamkara may purify itself to the point of understanding that the jiva does, but just doing things does not have a real verbal meaning because the sense I am the doer was challenged, and resolved within Ishvara as the real doer, not exempting the Jivatma from the responsibility of being a good instrument of the Lord by observing its laws and principles. When we say the sun illumines the earth, it's the same thing. The sun does not illumine. The sun is so far away. The sun just is. It's a ball on fire. In the presence of the sun, things are illumined. If within a certain range, everything is going to be illumined by the sun. Therefore, the objects arrive. Sun is the same. After the objects go, the sun is the same. But will we use the verb the sun is illumining? No. It's the nature of the sun to illumine. It's the nature of the Jiva-Atma to respond to the stimulus coming from its environment. It's the nature. There was a time I was emphasizing this point to offset a little bit the concept that I don't want to do anything because I'm not the doer. The jiva is designed to do things, to respond, but it does not need to be with the sense I am the doer. It's designed to do it, but it's taking consideration Ishwara behind that somehow we say, please, my son, go and do something. Don't be a lazy bastard, just do something. There are all the factors contribute for my action, and I should not be 100% tamasic and being there, no, I'm not going to do anything. No, use your Rajaguna, which is a gift from Shwara, and do things. But know that you are just one small factor among so many other factors which are compelling you to interact and do things, So if we understand Ishvara from that angle, Daiva, the totality of all factors promoting our response, and then the sense of doership begins diminishing. The sun is not illumining the earth. The sun has no plan or goal. It's the nature of the sun to illumine and reveal. Here also, verb indicates that consciousness does not plan, decide, and illumine the body-mind as a positive action. Sakshi, like the fire, like the sun, just is, and its nature is to illumine. In the presence of consciousness, body gets known, revealed, experienced. And therefore, we say Purusa, Bhukta, which is witness everything. Such experience means changelessly witnesses. Actionless witness is just the light that illumines and witness without any sense of being doing anything, and either without any involvement with it is being illumined and revealed. Willlessly, without any will, without any desire, without any intention or motivation, it's the nature to illumine, reveal, and witness without any center that says, I am illumining and witnessing. Who is the witnessing? The potential witnesses are the Jiva-Atmas to the extent that they just purify to the point to see that I am the witnessing Sakshi Chaitanya experience. I witness this world. I have this reflect consciousness. This reflect consciousness is going to illumine my environment, and I witness it. And the more purified from its ragas and dveshas, the more this witnessing is free from likes and dislikes, attractions and repulsions. Willless, witnessesless, without involving desire, wants and likes and dislikes. Whatever happens in the body-mind complex is just seen, witnessed by this principle. On the experiential level is the Jiva-Atma, the subtle, purified, reflect consciousness, the Ahamkara, or intellect, howsoever we prefer, has the possibility to experience things in a more witnessing, non-involvement manner. There is this witnessing consciousness that when it's subtle enough, it witnesses the body-mind complex, witnesses the mental states of the mind. And even when the mind is blank, it witnesses the blank condition of the mind. Mind has to become so subtle. When we go into meditation, one of the required process is purification, refinement, and subtilization. I say the mind has become so subtle in order to be able to witness certain states which are so subtle, such as a silent mind, an empty mind, empty from thoughts, concepts, notions. This is samadhi. The blank condition of the mind is also witnessed by consciousness. And since consciousness is not an experience entity, it is witnessed by the reflect consciousness, the ahamkara, to the degree that the mind is very pure and subtle in order to experience through samadhi these mental states without being identified with those states. Everything is experienced by this conscious principle. That consciousness is the true I anyway. Therefore, is my I as well, your I, everyone's Atma. So Purusha means Sharira. Purusha Prakritistaha means Sharira. In this context, Prakriti means products of Prakriti. And the body is a byproduct of Prakriti. Is an effect of Prakriti. Prakriti Karya is called Prakriti. And what are the two products of Prakriti to be kept in mind? The mind-body-mind complex. The body-mind complex container is called Prakriti, enclosed with the body-mind complex. I was telling you in the last class, the enclosed space is used for living. So let me read that part again. Prakriti Karyam is called Prakriti, and what are the two products of Prakriti to be kept in mind? Is the body and the mind. Okay, I think he refers to the subtle body and the physical body. So what I say, the body-mind complex container is called Prakriti. And within this Prakriti, there is something which is Purusha. Means enclosed with the body-mind complex, Prakriti. Prakrishta means enclosed with. Okay, I was telling you in the last class, let's see if it gets more clear here. The enclosed space is useful for living. We have the walls, we have a roof. Because enclosed space is only Vyavahara, Yogyam. Did you get that?
It means suitable for everyday transactions. The yogyam means
Yeah.
suitable, appropriate, or
It's
something.
useful, utilitarian. Similarly, the open veiled consciousness, when it's enclosed within the body-mind complex, it's called Prakrishtaha, Purusha Sakshi Chaitanya. Okay. I don't know if these two products, the two byproducts of Prakriti to be kept in mind, but if you guys have any insight, it's not very clear what he meant by these two products of Prakriti.
I think he's referring to the body-mind complex and the universe around us, because he's talking about the enclosed space and then the all-pervading space. So in the form of prakriti would be the body-mind complex, the enclosure, and the universe, the all-pervading. This is my understanding.
Okay. Thank you, Mark. And this I experience without action, without will. So this self, this consciousness experience without desire, without action. What does it experience? It experiences the Maya, the Prakriti, the gunas of Maya, without any will, the same way the sun illumines without will, the same way the space accommodates without any will, the same way the fire burns without any will to burn anything, the same way consciousness experience the gunas of Maya. All the consequence, all the products of Prakriti in the form of varieties of thoughts. Prakriti Jan Gunaha means Vritti Parinama, various thoughts, modifications like pleasure thoughts, Sukhan and Dukhan, pain thoughts, and so on. They are called Prakriti Jaguna. Certain types of thoughts are called sattvic thoughts, some are rajas, tamasic, and so on. In the next chapter, we'll look into this. Sukhan is sattvic vritti, thoughts. Dukhan is rajasa vritti, and delusion or depression is tamasic vritti. All those mental conditions, they are gunas, they are the gunas of Maya producing these effects. Consciousness experience, and the experience here is illumined and revealed because there is no experiencing entity. Sakshi experience, by some say, experience here means witnesses. So, and the witnessing that very often is pointed us to us in the scriptures is something that becomes an experience to a mind that is properly has its ahamkara, the doer, the experiencer, the knower, the author, the thinker, it becomes educated enough, wise enough to understand that it's all happening organically. There is no need for me, the ahamkara, the reflect consciousness, to own these things that belong to God. Okay, it's as if the fire would develop a certain ego, like some of these stories, Puranics, the devas. And then he said, "No, I am the one burning and this and that." And then Ishvara has to come down and teach a lesson to this fire because it has developed a sense of ownership and doership. So likewise, there is an experience, the ahamkara, it somehow appropriates, owns, or robs, those organic, dynamic phenomena, They say, this is my thought, this is mine, aham, and dukkha, ahamkara, mamakara, I and mine. The same way this Sakshi Chaitanya is the only principle really experiencing, but this experience is just a witnessing, and this witnessing is deprived from the sense I am witnessing. You understand? It's just a witnessing principle without the sense I am witnessing. And this is our goal, to come to a point of living this life, witnessing things without this sense of I and mine. I'm doing this, I am doing that, I'm just appropriating, misappropriation of things which belongs to Ishwara. Yeah? What attribute this Shakti has got? The body has got attribute, the mind has got attributes. I illuminate the attributes, but I myself do not have any attribute. That's the nature of consciousness. But the problem is what? When I illumine the Prakriti world of attributes unknowingly, I take some of these attributes as mine. They are mine. This is called the problem of transference. Transference of the Prakriti attributes to the I. Transference of the subtle mind attributes to the I, the Purusha. This creates all the problems, transference, transference, transference. And I was referring to that, which came up strong when I was doing the last seminar in Brazil on the Kaivalya Upanishad, because there it's addressed the problem of transference very clearly. So how to stop this transference? The mind has to become subtle enough to be able to prevent this transference, As the upadhi of the body-mind should not be transferred to that which is consciousness. There is no way you can really impact consciousness with any one of these upadhis. It's all delusion. The Purusha creates all the problems. Why? The transference of body attribute, transference of mind attributes upon the I, the Purusha. So who creates all the problem? The Ahamkara, making the transference of the body, mind attributes to the self. So I'm present here some nice analogies, very simple, like most of his examples. When we are viewing a movie, initially we know very much, oh, I'm none of these actors, But then as the movie or the series go about, and then you identify or you develop sympathy towards some of the actors, and you are there trying to look cool, not to be involved with a good cup of Coca-Cola and popcorn in each hand. That's when the movie goes on, when the movie becomes very much exciting, and the plot is getting developed, and then I'm really like that, and I already found some identification with the actors. And then some big problem is happening to my hero, and he's going to be assassinated. And then what happens to me? So much injustice happening to my hero. We also want to happen. We feel like it's happening to me. I have identified with that actor. The problem of the observed actor, the hero, are falsely transferred to the observer. Simple example. Even watching a movie at home. So those situations, those circumstances appears as transferred to the observer. This transference is called anonya adhyasa. In the case of the movie, we voluntarily do that. Why? Because we know a movie. You cannot go to the movie and refuse completely to have any emotional involvement. But I tell you, slowly we enjoy not having any emotional involvement when you watch a movie or a soccer game of your favorite team that you was crazy for when you was younger. So watching a movie or watch a soccer or sport that you used to love big time, without being emotionally involved is funny because sometimes the thought comes up, for what the hell I'm doing this? I don't even enjoy and suffer anymore, you know? I'm just watching it, for the sake of the good game. And what's the point of watching these movies? I know it's so fake stories, and I'm the spectator here, and it has nothing to do with me. So we begin developing a certain detachment or no identification with things that turns us back more and more towards our true self because you begin seeing less and less fun in entertainment. But anyhow, as they say, the best entertainment is soaking the nectar of the self we are. So going back to the scripture, going back to one's sadhanas, and enjoy the peace that comes with association with the self. So, by going back to the example of the Swamiji, when you are very equanimous, you don't identify, you give compliments to the actor. I remember when I went to the United States, one of my best friends there, he was great for going to the cinemas, and he was an intellectual that was always trying to teach me things because I was new to the society there. And then he said, Naga, no, when I go to the movie and I say I love this movie, mostly is because I loved the acting, the talent of those actors. I don't look much to the script or the story. I just look at how how the acting was perfect. And of course, that there is something good about a good movie, which is good acting as well. But there is also more to it. But here he's saying that that's just a movie, 2 3 hours, and you in the end you again as a Jiva Mukta you give compliments to the actor. Say you were so detached, Mr. Jiva Mukta. And in the end you say, oh, it was a good movie, the guy did act very well and the girl as well, but without any emotional involvement. They're all much fun, but the intellectuals can come to that extent. It's like going to the cinema, watching the movie and pay attention only to the screen. And then in the end, people say, what did you like? What did you see? Tell me what was your experience. Oh, I was just watching the screen. There was nothing to it. It was just a false projection. So Mr. Jivamukta gives compliments to the hero, to the actors, and so on. So Mr. Jivamukta is able to detach from everything. But in life, the problem is what? Our attachment to the observed body-mind sense complex is so intimately close and all the time there. This samsara is so hardwired. It's a continuous process. And Krishna says that it's not only conscious, it takes us to the next birth, identification with that which we illumine and reveal and experience. We are so involved with what we experience, and fundamentally, we experience our body-mind sense complex. And through this body-mind, we experience the world. Attachment to the body-mind, the attachment of the things this body-mind likes, and attachment to keeping away what I do not like. Therefore, Krishna says, Sad asad yoni jinyamasu karana means samsara chakra, the word yoni means must be read twice, sat yoni, a lot of such. inferior body, superior self, inferior self, which means better, yeah, you, samsara chakra. Punarap Janamam, Punarap Maranam, taking higher births on the higher lokas, taking lower births such as animal bodies, plants, and the suras. The entire samsara chakra. He's giving an explanation of this sentence in Sanskrit that does not mean exactly the literal meaning of the words, but it means the entire samsara chakra, if I understood it correctly. It takes to the next verse. Attachment to the body, mind, sense complex, and the world we obtain through this body, mind, sense complex brings desire for continuity, and that desire for continuity takes us into again and again another birth. This attachment is different from the small attachment we experience watching our heroes in the movie. It's much deeper, much more hardwired, so much so that it's going to produce further bursts. Okay? Okay, let me say one thing here. I need to, I don't know if I go to town to do things, including my computer tomorrow, day after tomorrow. I will know later on, I'll be able to make this decision this afternoon. If I would ask you guys to move our class for Wednesday, would it be possible for both of you or not? Okay, I will let you know. Until further notice, we do it tomorrow, okay? Unless. Om Purnamada Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishate Om Shanti 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 Om Shvara Namaste. Thank you for your presence, and we meet again soon. Ishwara will see you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Linda.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you. Bye-bye.
Great. Thank you, Arvindo.
Thank
Okay,
you.
see you soon.